إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها فكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيدا. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, we want to start by relating hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one that's frequently mentioned. عن أبي عمرو وكيلة أبي عمرة سفيان بن عبد الله الثقفي رضي الله عنه قال قلت يا رسول الله قل لي في الإسلام قولا لا أسأل عنها أحدا غيرك فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم قل آمنت بالله ثم استقم رواه Muslim. So this hadith, which is related by Abi Amr or Abi Amra Sufyan bin Abdullah al-Thaqafi, may Allah be pleased with him, he said that I said, O Messenger of Allah, Ya Rasulullah, inform me about a teaching in this religion that will be so clear I won't have to ask anyone subsequently for any clarification. قُلْ لِي فِي الْإِسْلَامِ قَوْلًا لَا أَسْأَلُ عَنْهُ أَحَدًا غَيْرًا. So I won't need anyone other than you to clarify this for me. فَقَالَ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ, the Prophet said to him, say, I believe in Allah, قُلْ آمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ, and thereafter be upright. So he sallallahu alayhi wasallam told him first of all, قُلْ آمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ, say I believe in Allah. So it's interesting that the person being addressed is already a believer. Abi Amr Sufyan bin Abdullah, he's already a believer. He's a Sahabi radiyallahu anhu. So it's as if the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was saying to him, Jaddid imanak, renew your faith. So you already believe, but you need to renew your faith. And this is very, very clear advice. So what does that mean? It means first and foremost that sometimes as believers we can lose touch with the purity of the faith. So we have to renew it. It means that sometimes as believers we can get stuck in a rut. So that our worldly entanglements, our day-to-day routine, the normal problems that a human being has to deal with when he or she lives in a normal human society, can sometimes overwhelm us. So trying to worry about how we're going to eat next week, how we're going to pay the rent, how we're going to fix the car, how we're going to deal with the unruly child, how we're going to deal with the sick parent, how we're going to... So all of these things can weigh on a person. And then the purity of the faith becomes diluted. So to prevent us from being overwhelmed by our worldly situation, we have to constantly renew our religious situation. This is the advice the Prophet ﷺ is giving to this companion. One of the ways we renew our faith is by constantly renewing our repetition of La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. So that our tongue assists our heart. And our heart becomes infused and imbued with the echoing of our tongue. La ilaha illallah. And then that imprints itself on our heart. So that our heart is never separated from the reality of La ilaha illallah. And then even in those things that might normally vex us in our worldly affairs, we see manifestations of La ilaha illallah. We see manifestations of La ilaha illallah. We see someone that falls sick, or we ourselves fall sick, and we say La ilaha illallah. There's only one perfect one. There's only one who's free from defectiveness, such as disease and illness. That's Allah. La ilaha illallah. And then when we're cured, we understand there's only one who can effect cure. La ilaha illallah. So everything in our life, whether it be something that we normally perceive as being good or something we normally perceive as being bad, manifests and reinforces the reality of La ilaha illallah. There is no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah. We're frustrated. We can't get this child to straighten up and fly right. As they say, straighten up and fly right. He just doesn't get the message. We even played him the original recording. Straighten up and fly right. And he still won't straighten up and fly right. And then we step back and we say, La ilaha illallah. Only Allah has the power to make this child straighten up and fly right. So instead of putting so much attention on the child himself or herself, why don't I take it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why don't I turn the affair over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Which is an acknowledgement on my part, La ilaha illallah. And once we make that acknowledgement, maybe that's what Allah wanted from us. Maybe that's why Allah tested us with the test of this child, or the test of this spouse, or the test of this neighbor, or the test of this parent, or the test of this brother or this sister, so we could back up and say, La ilaha illallah. And then Allah, once He's gotten what He wants from us, the affirmation that He's in control, that His will is the effective will in this creation, then He relieves us of the test because He got what He wanted from us. He wanted us to affirm for our sake, not for His sake, La ilaha illallah, and now the child straightens up and flies right. Because when we thought we could fix the child, putting all our energy and we're yelling and we're screaming and we're battling and back and forth for hours on end, because it's as if we think we have the power. We don't have the power. وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا إِن يَشَاءُ اللَّهُ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Your will, what you desire, is only effective if it's consistent with what Allah desires. He is the Lord of all the worlds. So we renew our faith by reminding ourselves of La ilaha illallah until it permeates our heart. And then our faith is always new, because our heart will always remind us